Here we are in Domino Designer. We have 3 custom controls: Kathy's Awesome, Not Very Magical, and Godzilla Rules. Now, for whatever reason, we want to have one of these displayed on our X page at a time, not all 3 of them, based on what the user's doing at that moment in the workflow process or whatever's going on in your application. We want to have them on the page, but we only want to display one at a time. So how do we do that? We can do that with a dynamic content control. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new control. And we'll go over here to the controls panel and the extension library and find the dynamic content control and pull it onto the page. Make a little space for ourselves here and then go down to our custom controls, and we're going to pull in our controls. Now you'll note when I pull in the first one, it automatically creates this facets. It also pulls in the control and adds on this key to it as well. And then we'll just bring in the other 2. We'll bring in Godzilla. And we'll bring in Not Very Magical. Okay, and you see these automatically generated keys here, key 1, key 2, and key 3, and we can change those if we like, which we do like and we want to. So we're going to call this one Kathy. We're going to call this one Cleverly Godzilla, and we'll call this last one Magic. And then we want to click on our dynamic content control to select it, because we want to change a couple of properties here. The first one we want is which, you don't have to select it, but which default facet you would like to display when the page is open. So in this case, I'd like it to display Kathy by default. You'll note it puts the property up there, default facet. I'd also like to use the URL hash, and you'll see what that means in just a moment. You don't have to do that, but that's what I'm going to do in this demonstration. And so we save that. And it's just that easy. We're ready to use that control. So we're going to create an X page. Always harder to type when you're on being recorded. Okay, and then again to our controls tab and pull in that dynamic content control that we've got. Save it and preview it. This is not a very exciting page, I'll grant you that, but the default is showing Kathy is awesome. Now what we did is we specified to use the URL hash. So what we can do is say content equals, and what was one of them? Godzilla. Ta-da! And it refreshed just that part of the page, got rid of the Kathy control, and showed us the Godzilla part of the control. And again, we can change this and magic. Ta-da! A unicorn. And then we can always switch it back to the first one, which was also the default one. So we don't have to specify Kathy, because again, if we are just on the default page, it's going to show us Kathy is awesome. So just to clarify that, and # content equals Magic, Godzilla, or Kathy, those correspond to the keys that were assigned here on our dynamic content control. So again, we can call those whatever we want. Those are what's going to display here in the URL. And again, we used the URL hash, and that's why it's up there in the URL. You can deselect that, and you can use a button to select which key is displayed at that time, or code, or however you want to do it. But again, it was just easiest to demonstrate using the URL hash, so that's what I did here. That's it. That's how you use a dynamic content control. Thanks for watching.